Hi, this is Shadi. Today I have a special guest with me. He is an Olympic team therapist, specifically for Germany. Shortly before the Paris Olympics, he treated Diora Keldiorova. Her knee was in grave danger, and as we all know, she went on to win the Paris Olympics. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the joints and how you can actually condition them, not just the muscle. I know we talk about hinging at the hips, squatting, pressing, and rowing, but when it comes to the joints, I think we can all do a little bit something for them. But before we do that, please don't forget to check out my book, The Origins and History of Judo, a translation of a manuscript from 1903, both available in English and French with modern Japanese. Link will be below. So when it comes to the joints, it's different than muscle. I'll let Knut Nowak explain a little bit at the end, but I just kind of paved the way in order for you to understand what we're talking about. So I was often very pro these types of exercises. If you cannot access a gym, I always said that they will keep you in great shape, walking on your hands, etc. Obviously, not everyone can do that, or front lever or back lever. However, when it comes to joints, they get nourished by the fluids like synovial fluids, and the higher the water binding affinity, the better your joints are. They're more nourished, they can get what they need in order to recover and grow stronger. And how you do that is important. So it's not like a muscle where you need blood for it and nutrients. It's different. So it's actually by having your arms and legs extended and you train them this way. So for example, walking like this, or your partner is holding your ankles and you're walking on your arms where they are completely extended, that will result in better shoulders and better elbows. Same for the legs. Legs are a little bit more different. You need to train them to be a little bit more like springs, so like elastic energy, as Knut calls it, which you will hear him talk just in a little bit. So things like plyometrics, obviously you don't have to be an NBA level player. So things like jump ropes, duck jumps like you just saw, anything like this can be incorporated. It's good. Also, you have the straight legs, so Jefferson curls, walking on tiptoes, etc. Now, let's take a look at some of the old exercises of Jiu-Jitsu back in the Taisho period. I believe this is from Taisho 1. This is Inoguchi's book. So, handstands were a staple of their training. Here you can see this page here. He's showing you how to get yourself up here. This one is reversed. He's pointing his toes to the front, and it's funny how the head is drawn on the back. Anyways, so here you can see you have the arms, the wrists, everything is extended, it is locked in, and that will result in higher water binding affinity to the tendons and ligaments. Here you can see even on one arm. Now again, you don't have to get to that level. I know many of you have different circumstances, but also walking on your hands, your partner is holding your ankles, that is also good. Any type of jumping on the balls of the foot, it can be tendo kurenshu for osotogari, anything, literally just light sprints. Also, as you can saw, duck walks, and also like ballerina style walks where you are tiptoeing. Now, I'm not gonna talk anymore. I'll just let Knut Nowak continue from here.
Are a bit different.
Yes, totally different. The ligaments and the tendons and the bones act totally different than muscles, and we all focused on building muscle. We want to bring tension on the muscle, and we think a big muscle brings a joint protection, and that's not the case. Yeah. One point is we must understand elastic energy. Not only muscle energy, we have to understand elastic energy that brings the pressure on the joints. I want to show you a picture here.
Wow. It's like springs.
That's what I call elastic energy. That's no muscle recruitment for this. It's only a little bit muscle. That's all the tendons and the bones. They absorb the energy and bring it like a spring back. Look at this motion. Look. Which muscle? Tell me, which muscle make this movement possible?
Wow. So how do you actually get to this?
When you have this kind of energy is coming on the body, I say the tendons can store this energy, and also the bones. When you're young, you have to bring elastic energy into your bones. That's not doing by doing squats. It can help, but it's not the most important thing. When we see plyometric exercises, when you have when you jump from 1 meter down, you have 3 times of the body weight on the joints. That's so much more energy than you can do with a squat like this. It's everybody said, oh, okay, I do plyometrics. Yes, you have to do plyometrics, but not alone. That's the big point in the picture. The most people miss. The movement patterns you have hinging, you have squatting, you have jumping, you have running, you have throwing. That are different movement styles, and they make the body strong. That's what I say. That's a compound movement. When you say Ryan Gordon makes bodybuilding style, or you see a video of Teddy who bench press, in this age, it's no problem. But when you want to build resilient joints at the age of 12, 30, 40, 50, 60, that you can build a very strong athlete when he's 20, then when you need bones and ligaments and tendons, with springing elasticity, and there's where gymnastic is coming in play.
So why gymnastics is so good? Is it because it involves all of these movements that you mentioned? It's not just like, okay, today is chest day, or I'm just doing plyometrics or knees over toes.
Any apparatus you have in gymnastics, you have every day different training, and pound per pound athletes in the most strongest athlete for pound always gymnasts. They win every competition in pound for pound. No chance against gymnasts, But why are they so strong? They mix. One day they do this apparatus, and the next day they do springing, and the next day they do a high bar, and then P bars and pommel horse, and every day you have different exercises. About, I do handstands also. Yeah, handstand is good, but handstand is good for your shoulders and your elbows. But for the rest of the body, you need different exercises. And that's where we have to mix it with the judo. Judo is so special. In judo, you have to absorb much power, Force is coming on your body.
When we do a lot of ukemi, we're falling. We're taking 10, 20, 30 falls when your partner is doing nagekomi.
A gymnast, only a gymnast who's going to judo, you break him into only the bones lie on the body. He's not strong for judo. That's totally different. To say it's only gymnastic training for them. It's not that.
But that's the thing. Gymnastics is a very vast world, and also a lot of us are adults getting into the whole, fitness game. Some people start jiu-jitsu or judo in their mid-20s, late 20s, 30s, 40s. People are starting jiu-jitsu. So people who have jobs, maybe even kids and stuff, can they go and do gymnastics and martial arts, or is there maybe a few things that they can choose and do martial arts next to?
Like, I say not gymnastics, I say acrobatic. It's a little bit, it's a handstand, it's saltos and flips. That's not gymnastic, what I prepare here. For gymnastics, I see one of the things is we have to train the tendons, very specific. Tendons.
How?
Give me just a second. Tendons have a problem with the adaptation. Tendons are not in the blood supply. chain. They are not very, very good in blood supply. The only way tendons get their energy and release it is per water. Everybody knows when you have an injury with the finger and you get a tape around the finger and later you can move your finger again. Oh, it's the capsules and what's happened. The tendons have a water binding ability. Tendons can store water links. Normally a muscle is functioning in a way, flexion, extension, and the muscle grows with the tension. It gets bigger. The tendons work in this manner different. The tendons come from the overstretch. When you don't overstretch them and stay them all the time in a fixed position, the tendons go weak. The water binding ability goes down.
So what about knees and ankles? How do you train in the bent, or what's some of the best exercises for the bent leg and the extended legs or stretched legs?
For the bent legs and for the extended legs, one of the biggest, when you have to start with the juniors and in the youth team, you have to do bunny hops, duck walks, low on the low side. You have to do jumps, runnings, all kinds, hurdles, everything for the legs with springing parts. Springing brings the elastic back in the bones and also in the tendons, not only muscle work. But when I say bring springing, it's not to do it like I spring every day. Whoa, very good. No.
So what would be the best, like we know, for example, split squats, duck walks,
yes,
all these that we do across the mat.
Ankle jumps.
For straight legs, what would be the best exercises? Like 2 to 3 exercises.
One very good exercise is walking on tiptoes.
Tiptoeing?
Tiptoeing, yes, from ballet with tiptoeing.
They have some of the best legs.
Yeah. And the best ankles ever. And they have jumping heights and they are very elastic. That's one of the reasons they built first. That's a very didactic training protocol for gymnasts and also for ballet dancers. They do very much hard work in the straight leg, and that's where comes the tendon into play. You have to be very dedicated with training the tendons 1 or 2 times a week, not every day, but 1 or 2 times a week. When you bring in calisthenics, you have the straight arm day and the bent arm day. On one day you do pull-ups and you do dips. On the other day you do front lever or back lever or plank or planches in this way.